Okay, so this question right here is asking, get my pens. So this question right here is asking three questions. It's saying number one, it's saying which labeled point is the function increasing? Number two, which label point is the graph concave up? And number three, which label point has the most negative slope? So three different questions and off the same graph. So the graph looks something like, sorry, it's hard to draw with a pen, but something like this. And it has a dot there, one there, there, and there. Okay, so based off of this graph right here, which I've mimicked over here, so just ignore if it's not a good drawing, but it's the same thing. When it says that the function is increasing, it's asking if it's going up. Basically, if it's the slope positive. So in this case, which ones are the slope positive? And we can see that this one, point A, the slope is going to be going up because the graph is going that way, like the lines like that. So the slope is positive. So for the answer for A, answer for A, it's going to be A, comma. We can look at B, and B, the slope is flat. C, the slope is negative. D, the slope is negative. E, the slope is flat. And F, the slope is positive. So it's going to be A and F, if that makes sense. Okay, let's look at part B. So this time it's asking for concavity. Concavity of a graph, by looking at it, that one is determined specifically by how the graph is working. So in this case, I can remember an N is concave down and a U is concave up. So N is concave down. So if we look, we can see this portion of the graph is concave down. Or we'll just look here too. This portion of the graph is concave down. However, this portion of the graph is like a U. It's concave up, right? It's going up. So it's concave up. So we can see that this point is definitely going to be part of it. So it's going to be E. So we know that E is in there. However, there are two other points that are part of this concave up. And it's going to be the ones next to it. I'll explain why C is not, but it's going to be D, E, and F. And because if you draw D, E, and F, it's going to be like that. And those points make the concavity. I'll explain why this one isn't. This is point C. C is not part of the concave up function. It's part of the concave down because of the second derivative test. And that is a whole other problem. But for this right now, just know that because it's less than in the middle of this right here, you can see how it's like just a little bit above, or maybe it's even on the middle. It's too close to call. I'm going to say that it's part of that function. So we know that it's D, E, and F. And then lastly, the graph has the most negative slope at the labeled points. So analyzing this right here, we can see that the graph, we can see that A is positive, F is positive, E is flat, and B is flat. So none of those are good choices. So we can just kind of ignore that these points are options. So our two options are C or D. It says that there's two of them. If you can put in both, because it's impossible for me to like really tell. My best guess would be that C is probably more negative, but it looks like both of them are pretty equally negative. So you can probably just put in C, comma D. If not, then it's either C or D. But yeah, that's how I'd solve that. So hopefully this helped.